Hello, we're starting part two of a multi-part series on social networking tools and sites, why should we use them, and so forth. This is part two of the series. Contact information for the Work-Life Resource Ministry at St. Margaret Mary. You see the email address, YouTube channel that you're probably watching, groups to join, and network meetings that are always free of charge. Everyone is welcome. These are the topics for social networking. The one we're going to focus on for part two is basic features of what LinkedIn will give you. The other grayed out areas are covered in other parts of this series. So what are some of the basic features of LinkedIn? The free service, there's a free service and a paid service. The free service is probably sufficient for most users. You're going to be able to do everything that's shown on these pages. It was all done using the free service, and areas where you can improve by getting the paid service that'll be shown. Initially, you were supposed to be limited to 500 contacts. However, I've seen that that has changed, and there are people that have more than 500 contacts with the free service. Groups are limited to 50 groups, and actually I have come across where I'm limited on the groups. In-mails or ways of contacting people you don't know, that's limited. However, I will be showing you ways to get around that, so you have to use in-mails. You can use other areas to get around it, which actually work a lot better. Important thing to note is that you're only allowed 6 rejections. So if you're trying to make a contact with somebody and you're using in-mail or some of the other areas, make sure that people do not reject you, otherwise your account will be shut down. You can go back to customer service, beg, and they will reinstate your account, but they'll do that only a few times before they shut you down. And you can only show 100 names in searches. However, there's a lot of areas where you don't want more than 100 names anyways. That becomes too cumbersome to look through all those names. You can pare down that list of 100 names by adding in more intelligence and other search features, advanced options. What do you get if you pay for it? You can join more groups. That's probably a benefit for people that are looking to network a lot or join into different areas of the service. That's probably a benefit that would be worth the pay. Adding more contacts, but again, you're limited to 500 or more on the free service. And saying, 300, 500, 700 searches probably is too cumbersome anyways. As I mentioned, advanced search options, you want to cut it down anyways to 20 people or less when you're doing a search, otherwise you're wasting time. What does your home page look like when you set up account? We'll be setting up your LinkedIn account on the next video series. You're going to see messages that people send you. The important part to focus on is who changed jobs. You want to find out when they changed jobs. If they went to a different company, maybe that is a company that you can now pursue or an opening that is now available. Always monitor the section on the right where it says contacts you may know. LinkedIn does a phenomenal job finding people that are related to you or related to the contacts you've already made. That list gets updated every time you click on home. If you have a sufficient number of contacts, every time you click on the home button, you'll see a different list pop up there of 3 people. You can click on the bar and see all the past names as well, but just take a quick look at it every time that you join the service or go ahead and log in to LinkedIn. It's going to help you find people by previous employers, school years, contacts or people you've met before. That's a good idea, again, as I mentioned, to look at that every time you log in. Messages or invites, group announcements, and so forth show up. Network updates, that shows you what's changed, people that have changed job titles. They've moved jobs, maybe they've got different education, or maybe they added employers from their past, and you could look at that. Networking is more than just trying to find jobs or what's in it for me. Hey, if you see that somebody got a job change, send them an email, congratulate them, tell them congratulations for getting the new position and so forth, and maintain your network in that fashion. If you page down on your home page, some other things that you see, job status. Recruiters a lot of times will place that. It's a quick way for them to say what they're looking for. This particular listing says that they are looking for an LED designer. They did this rather than posting a discussion or a job opening because they would have to pay for that. This is a low-cost way, quick way to show it. So if you're looking for a job position, that's a great way to look, is in the status updates. Recommendations show up also. That's Scrolling down, who's looked you up? We'll get into that. And upcoming trade shows. If you're looking to network with people, these are the shows that your contacts are attending. You would obviously be able to connect with them or get business leads and so forth by attending those shows. Network updates. This particular recruiter, again, showed a job opening there. Recommendations. Do you know anybody that you should recommend? If you recommend somebody, they should return it in kind. They would turn around and recommend you as well, and that keeps your network list growing. Who's viewed your list? If you click on that, you'll see by job title and company who's viewed your listing, but you're not going to see an exact name. To see an exact name, you have to pay for that service. We mentioned trade shows. Who's changed jobs? That'll show in your homepage as well. Again, that's important to find out. Maybe if you're looking for a position, somebody left a company, maybe that's a position you want to go to, or they've joined a company that you think you have expertise in. That would give you an idea of who's hiring. Group updates are shown as well. We mentioned trade shows in the previous page. Questions to answer, and there's a more button on each of these sections to click. Profile updates, it's only going to show you 2 or 3, depending how big your home page is. If you click on it, you'll see more of those. It's a good idea to scan those or to turn on your listing to give you a weekly update, and that would prevent you from having to, or allow it easier to be than having to go on and check it every time you're on LinkedIn. You would get a nice, convenient email every single week. Group updates look at who's hiring, job listings, and so forth are posted there. In events we saw in the previous section. Questions, the more questions you answer, the better the expert you become, the more that recruiters find you, colleagues find you. It's a good way of reverse engineering. Reverse networking is a way of people finding you rather than you finding them. If you scroll down, again, LinkedIn has a bunch of information just on your homepage. If you scroll down here, you're going to find out the shows that people are attending, who's attending those, so you can set up meetings if it's somebody you work with on a personal level. You can say, hey, do you want to catch up at this show? Application updates, what kind of software are they running? Job opening section, another area that you can find job openings. Events, as we mentioned previously, showed you what events people are attending. This shows you in more detail who is actually attending those events. Job listings are summarized for you. The thing to note, those are even if they're out of territory. If you click on the button, you can narrow down the search to job openings that are in your territory. Application updates might give you an idea what software you should load on your PC or on your phone. Scrolling further down, we're still on our home page. Questions that were answered, job postings that were posted for various groups. Networking, again, recruiters seem to use that section. It's another area to look at. Profile updates, recruiters are putting it into there as well. So there's really 4 areas if you're job hunting. You want to look at the network updates, profile updates, the listing bar that you click on, and also the posting section. All 4 of those areas provide excellent leads on job postings. If you scroll further down, you can see who made what connections. It's a good idea to scroll through here and say, hey, do I know any people in this list? And then it has to connect to those as well. The more button is key here because it shows you only 4, but probably every day you'll see 6, 7, 10 people that made connections. You can ask to contact that person directly to make a connection or for the person to give you a referral for a connection. Scrolling further down, who joined? So this is showing you by groups, previous employers, schools that you attended, people that you might know. I find that this is random hit or miss on that section. Now we're going to look at messages that come in. It's a great idea to get connected to people. In this case, had a business lead come in saying, hey, I've got a great opportunity for you. Why don't you stop in and we can talk. Messages can be sorted out by date or by topic. They can be archived to be stored for future use. Who's viewed your profile? Again, the free account only shows you job title and company. Pretty much you can figure out a lot of times who's actually looked at your job listing. Weekly email comes to you and tells you who's changed updates, who's changed contacts, what kind of software people are using. So in summary, hopefully this is giving you an idea of what LinkedIn can do. Be sure to follow the other topics to get more ideas. Any questions? Email them.